Hi guys, this video is about reflexive and stem changing verbs. So a reflexive verb, which we'll talk about, can also be stem changing, but it doesn't have to be. And stem changing verbs don't exist in the past tense, so I'll talk a little bit about that in just a few minutes. So if we take a look here at reflexive verbs, typically, the way to identify them is that they end in SE, as you can see right there. So the first step to the whole conjugation process is to remove the SE. So on a verb like bañarse, to bathe yourself, you just take that SE off. Okay. The next step would be to choose the correct pronoun for whoever's doing the action. Okay, so if I'm doing the action, I would choose me. You informally would be te. He or she, say. If we are doing it, would be nos. If they are doing the action, would be say. Okay, you're going to take whatever one of these 5 pronouns here, okay, and place it between the subject and the verb in your sentence. Okay, so then you drop off the AR ending that you're left with bañar up here. Drop that AR ending off, and then conjugate it however to whoever's doing the action. So the example that I gave you, okay, pretend this was bañarse right here. Okay, you can't have yo bañarse in a sentence. Okay, so following the steps, the first thing I'm going to do is take off the SE. I realize that I'm doing the action, so I need to pick me for my pronoun. I'm going to plug that in between the subject, which is yo, and the verb, which is bañar. So I plug in there yo, me, bañar. Okay. So now I'm on step 4, and I'm going to drop off the AR ending. Okay. And I even gave you your little charts here. So you have AR endings in present and past, and then ER and IR in present and past. So I'm looking for present tense and AR ending. So I'm going to put yo me baño antes de yo voy a la escuela. So I bathe myself or I take a bath before I go to school. Okay, I know you're all probably happy about that. Okay, moving on. Let's see. And I will share this document also, so you can, because once this is on the video, you can't actually play around with the document, but I'll also share this document on, so that you can view it on Google Classroom, and hopefully that will be helpful too. Okay, I want to move down to stem changing verbs, and those are the kind of strange ones where I put in parentheses either E to IE, E to I, or O to UE. Those are the 3 possible changes that you can use, such as despertarse, okay, to wake up. So for despertarse, the change is E to IE, okay? And again, there's no stem changes in past tense, so you would treat it exactly the same. You don't change anything. I probably wouldn't even remind you that it's a stem changing verb, okay? This actually wasn't a very good example down here, so I'll fix that. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is decide what the change is. So for despertarse, it's E to IE, okay? And I'll talk about which, obviously there's 3 E's in the word, so we have to figure out which one to change. If the stem changing verb is reflexive, but again, it doesn't have to be, because I might wake up somebody else. I might not necessarily do it to myself. The first thing you're going to do, again, is remove the SE, if it's reflexive. Okay? Then again, choose the correct pronoun for who's doing the action. I'm going to actually get rid of this stem here. It's bothering me. Okay, so you're going to choose the correct pronoun for whoever's doing the action. Okay? So instead of me, I'm going to say she gets up at, she wakes up at 5:30 in the morning. So the pronoun that goes with she is say, So I'm going to plug that in here, okay? And then, okay. So again, I have despertarse. So the first step was to take off the SE, okay? And I actually put that over here. I already did that step. I already put the pronoun between the subject and the verb. So I'm left with despertar. Now, how do I know? Now there's only 2 E's left in the word. But how do I know which one to change? It's almost always, notice how I said almost always. I'll tell you when it's not, but it's almost always going to be the second E. Oops. I don't want to highlight everything. Okay? Okay? I'm changing that E. Oops. Again. Take the E away and put in IE. Okay? Now I'm going to the last step, step 5. Okay, I'm taking off the AR, okay? And if I'm not sure, I can go back up to my chart. Despertar is AR ending. I want it in present tense. So for she, for ella, the ending would be A. Okay, so the sentence then says, ella se despierta a las 5:30 de la mañana. So I changed it from the original, so I'm not talking about myself anymore, but she wakes up at 5:30 in the morning. Okay, so in terms of when you guys are putting together your timelines and writing those sentences, okay, what I asked you to do was put down like bullet points or something like that with a time from, I want your whole day. So using the verbs that I gave you. So some of them, like maquillarse, to put on makeup, to tomar una ducha. Some of them are not going to be exactly the same. Like maquillarse is not stem changing. Okay, tomar una ducha is not reflexive. Okay, but if you use the verb ducharse, okay, they both mean to take a shower. That one is reflexive. So you got to figure out what you're using first, what verbs you're using. And then based on that, I want you to refer back to this in the steps that I gave you. I'm trying to break it down for you, what order you would do things in. Okay, so the first thing is to take the SE off. If you're using a reflexive verb, find the right pronoun you're using, plug that in between the subject, which in each case, for your homework, sorry, there's flies in here, you're talking about yourself. So most of the time it's going to be, I hope all of the time, it's going to be me for your homework. Okay, that's going to be the pronoun that you plug in. Yo, me, whatever you're doing. And then the last step would be to drop off the AR and put the correct ending on, depending on if it's AR ending verb, is it an ER or IR ending verb. And I'd like you to actually do it in present tense and not past tense. We can talk about past tense. I just put this on here so it's already here for you. But I'd like you to do it all actually in present tense. And then again, going back down here for stem changing. So hopefully that is a little bit easier for you. I know like you have despertarse, to wake up. Acostarse is an O to UE change. There's only one O, so you know that that's changing to UE. And then figure out, obviously, again, most of the pronouns are going to be me, and probably all of the endings are going to be, if you're using present tense, if you're talking about yourself, the endings are going to be O, regardless of whether it's ER, IR, or AR. Okay? So, I would suggest to post any questions to Google Classroom. I think that will be the easiest place to post questions, because somebody else might have the exact same question, and I can answer them on there. Again, you're putting your timeline and your sentences on your Google Doc, and it should range what you do on a daily basis from morning until you go to bed. Okay, and using the verbs that I had given you from the chapter we're working on. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope this was helpful. Thanks.